Hello YouTube, this is SKillous. I'm back with more daily StarCraft 2 content for you. You really liked my video about the balance in PvT matchup, so I decided to make another one for PvP. I have a lot of things to say, and actually results of this investigation kind of surprised me. I thought it was gonna look a little bit differently, and to be honest, I'm pleasantly surprised once again with the patch. So, but let's focus on this game first. So, the biggest concern for me about PvP is that if you are following StarCraft for long enough and you remember the patch when battery got introduced, the shield battery overcharge got introduced, excuse me, the reasoning was to help stability in PvP matchup against Proxy Robo attacks, pretty much. And before that, all we were playing is Proxy Pylon into Robo, into Stargate, into Gateway, into just fake Pylon. It was all over the place, and PvP was so volatile and so random. And this is exactly the problem that introducing of shield battery overcharge was supposed to fix. And now we are pretty much back to the same old meta, which is, in my opinion, a little bit annoying. But anyway, let's just look at this game. Showtime is using a very cool trick with the energy recharge. He just got a sentry, overcharged it right away, sent two hallucinations to scout. I think it's quite cute. Probably could be done a little bit better. For example, one hallucination can be Phoenix to scout, and second hallucination can be 4 probes. Because if you don't know, it's actually someone's 4 probes, so you can scout a very big surface. But anyway, if you go sentry, if you go stalker, then your Robo gonna be so much later, because obviously I went for a Robo right after my Cybernetic score was done. And even if Showtime scouting it in time, like he did now, look, his Robo is so delayed. My Remortal is already done, so it's 40 seconds. My Prism on the way. So obviously there is, I don't think there is any chance he can defend this second base. So he's forced to stay home. I guess there is some kind of advantage that he managed to build more probes than me, so he's a little bit ahead economically. Mining approximately like 150 minerals more, maybe 200, which is good. But for me, I actually managed to kill both of his gateways because I already have a Prism, I have a Mortal, and he has no Mortal out yet. So this is quite annoying for him. And of course, if you look at the situation, it's not over. It's not over for him, it's not over for me. Who is ahead? I would say that the game is about even. What I do not like about that game got in this stage, and I don't feel like Showtime did any kind of errors, and he was not playing too safe. I don't think so. So this is my issue with this kind of change in PvP. So I am very afraid that in the new patch, you're gonna see these games all over the place. Of course, it might be a fun change to some, but I promise you, as a person who played this for years, this meta, over time it gets a little bit boring. So when it comes to this game, yeah, we can scroll forward a little bit, because I think this is a very normal Proxy Robo game. We built Immortals because Immortal is the most powerful unit in these situations. Some might say that, okay, Immortal got nerfed, so maybe the way of holding Proxy Robo, but, well, it got kinda nerfed, right? It lost 10% DPS, but the cost is lower, so your build order is a little bit more tight. You get, yeah, it's like you save a little bit of money, so it's nice. It's easier to use your warp gates because sometimes your minerals start before. And to be honest, Immortal is still the best unit. It's still not competitive. Like Adept is not competitive because of its low range, and Stalker is not competitive because it has relatively low DPS for its cost, and it's armored. And Immortal is just a one big dude who attacks with 50 against any armored units. So yeah, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be like one of the main build orders in the upcoming meta. You can scroll forward a little bit. To be honest, I don't really want to dive too deep. I just want to show them ideas that I got. Yeah, and eventually somebody gonna attack, somebody gonna expand, and person who is defending should defend, and if he defends, the game is over. So this is pretty much what happens. As you also could see, Showtime didn't really have any chances to use his shell battery recharge ability because he was so reliant on getting immortals as soon as possible because my immortal count is so far ahead. So in this case, it doesn't really come into play. And now, actually, it looks like a very scary defense because I'm down in army, I guess. But I got 3 immortals. I also have Phoenixes coming back. Got a little bit lucky with saving 2 immortals on very low hit points. My next is almost done, so I will be able to overcharge the battery. Phoenixes are back. And with the help of the battery, boom, overcharges. Okay, it's not an overcharge, it's a recharge, sorry. I managed to kill the prism, I managed to lift off immortals and win the game. Just like that. And let's watch another game. And this game I was actually very surprised about. Okay, so this is another new map. Actually quite a cool one. To be honest, I really like the new map pool. I think it's very solid. Like all the maps are fun. They look good and they're interesting. So this is a one gate expand map. And you might think that one gate expand would be dead on ramp maps because there is no overcharge and you kinda are relying on overcharge a lot to defend, but actually I think it's not quite the case because yeah, I mean you will see everything. So I go for a Nexus, I see that my opponent is not blocking me, so I go for a Nexus, I go for a core, and Showtime goes for a proxy pylon here, yet he's building offensively. This is a very normal response when you play against one gate expand. Especially in this patch, right? You would think because there is no better overcharge, so you might be able to break me easily. So he goes for Immortal. And what I do, I go for a very quick sentry. I go for Robo right away, no warp, because I scouted that this is a Robo myself, so I see it. Go for battery, and I right away overcharge my sentry. So I have 3 force fields already. I go for a Stalker. I don't need another sentry. I don't really quite have the gas for that because, yeah, it's quite expensive. I need to start Warp Gate. I need to start Stalker. Obviously, I need some gas for this Immortal. Got a kill on this Adept. Start Immortal. And another sentry. And at this point, I also overcharged it. And if you look at it, I have, with just 2 sentries, I have 7 force fields, which is quite impressive. I think it's very hard for Showtime to break me now. Look at how greedy I am as well. I got 32 probes. So I think at this point I'm quite. It feels like I'm quite unbreakable. Although I would think it shouldn't be the case because of the overcharge nerf. I lose a pylon here, but I still have my sentries in position. I will be able to block the ramp. And if you look at the Showtime point of view, I'm not quite sure if you can actually go up the ramp because sentry is out. So you use this battery, you use this energy recharge ability quite efficiently. I use my probes as a tank kind of unit. And here I think we can agree that the game is won. I killed the Mortal. Yeah, I'm definitely very far ahead. The Mortal count is somewhat same. I have a lot of batteries. I have a wall here. Showtime tries to drop me. My prism goes forward. I try to get a kill on the Stalker. There is also Immortal drop coming. I lose my prism. Yeah, unlucky. Definitely. Okay, maybe it's actually not holdable. Maybe Proxy Robo is indeed OP. If somebody disagrees with me, you're gonna get banned. Another situation that I wanted to try out is standard one gate expand build with Stargate. This is pretty much what MaxPax plays every game. So I go Zealot, Stalker, Stargate, Nexus, right? Battery, and a third pylon. You would also think that it got much weaker, right? Because you actually cannot overcharge a battery. But I think there is a very cool way of dealing with the pushes, especially on the maps with ramps. Once again, I want to point out that this ramp is very narrow, so it's very hard to attack into it. So it probably adds, but I believe there is another ramp map, and it also has a very tiny ramp like this that is hard to attack into. So what I do is I go for a Oracle, I go for Overcharge, and I get 2 Status Traps, and I still have 50 energy to go across the map. And as you can see, Showtime is actually playing the most dangerous build order, probably for Gate, against Stargate opening. But what I do, I did this, I got 2 Status Traps, I got Robotics, because I was obviously anticipating this push. Showtime just go up. Of course, you might say he could maybe like put 1 Stalker up or something, or he could send a probe. With the probe, I disagree, because I probably will be able to kill a probe if I... okay, maybe not, but I have a second trap. But even if 1 Stalker gets trapped here, it makes it so much hard. It works essentially as a force field, right? Because his Stalker just gonna make it so hard to attack into me. And now my Immortal is almost halfway dead. By the way, it probably could be up even sooner than that, because my Robo was a little bit delayed. I got a little bit of damage down here. And look at this. I also think it was quite fun. I got Immortal out. I overcharged my battery. He was not expecting that sentry, sorry. And now his Stalkers are just stuck. And he's dead. Very cute. Another map. By the way, another map with ramp. As you can see, as I was saying, it has a very tiny path, so it's very hard to attack into. I think it's a very good 1-gate defensive map. I'm pretty sure you can play the same way as in previous one. And since I'm pretty sure we covered all the early game stuff, now I want to talk about kind of mid-game. Just let's imagine a situation when 2 players play macro. So once again, I want to remind you guys what the meta looked like back in the days before the battery overcharge got introduced. So what we were playing every single game was Robo, Torch, Twilight, Immortal, Purge, +1, Templar Archives, 8 gateways. You are hearing this right. We would never expand on the 3rd base because it was so hard to hold the 3rd base because of the battery overcharge not existing back in the days. So this is my biggest concern right now, because once again, we only started to play Blink because it was so easy, or like not so easy, but it became possible to go for Blink, go for double gate, be as greedy as possible, get your 3rd base, transition to macro game, and be able to hold any kind of push pretty much with just popping the battery up. So this is my point of concern. So yeah, when it comes to this game, I just want to show you how it looks approximately. We both play Robo. Once again, I think it will be quite a common situation in this patch, because Robo it feels just superior. I think it's very hard to play against Robo openings now with Blink, because you don't have the battery overcharge. So even maybe not on this map, okay? This map is a bit different, but let's say on a map that is a bit more open, it will be very hard to hold these pressures with Immortals and Sentries, because they are quite popular back in, like even in this patch, but in new patch it will be even stronger because of battery overcharge not existing. I'm pretty sure people just will stop expanding to the 3rd base as quickly as they did before, and we will just see a lot of camping on 2 bases. So I kill some probes. I go charge, I go 8 gateway, I go Templar Archives, I go +1, I go double Immortal. Cheaper Immortal, so my timing is even sharper now. Just defend everything. Got some damage. To be honest, my damage was quite good. I killed 7 workers, Showtime only killed 2. And now I just move across the map. I'm not bothering expanding, I'm pretty much doing nothing. Actually, I could probably expand because I have a lot of reason. Very bad micro for me here. And I think Showtime was trying to go for a Adept push, but he realized that this is not a good idea against 2 base Protoss on this map with a wall. I mean, once again, I want to point out that I'm not bragging about beating Showtime. This was just practice games where we were trying to figure out stuff. So I'm just showing how it works. And yeah, he probably didn't know that this map is so hard to attack into, so he was just naturally going for Adept pressure, and as you can see, there is absolutely no chance to defend. Even if he had like one battery, it wouldn't help, and the game is just over. So, what can I say? There are definitely a couple of very cool scenarios that I am really excited about. For example, one gate defense feels very fun to figure out because there are so many new cool abilities that you can try and new cool tricks that you can use. But also, I'm very concerned about 2-gate meta. It makes sense because I feel like with 2-gate, it will be so hard, right? Like you won't have this reliable build orders anymore. You will struggle a lot dealing with Robo, and probably the macro game is gonna be a 2-base fiesta. Another thing I want to point out that I didn't touch here is that probably 1-gate expand on non-ramp maps are dead because the main point why this defense is possible is because it's so easy to force field these ramps, right? So force field work perfectly on the ramp. But if it's just an open space, especially if it's more open than usual, then you just can't rely on force fields. And besides traps, it's also harder because big. So I'm not sure what MaxPat's gonna do. I'm very interested to figure out. Maybe he will find a way. But I really wonder what you guys think. Let me know in the comment section and see you next time. Bye bye.